Makeup has been a passion of mine, but as I have gotten more and more into my hobby, I have become aware of the issue that needs to be brought to light. Every person out there has bought some type of makeup product, whether it was for yourself or maybe a friend or a family member. But have you ever thought about what goes on behind the scenes in the manufacturing of these products? So many of these companies are still using animal testing, and this is something that needs to be stopped. How would you feel if you were having to be put through all of these tests and in so much pain without being able to say something? I know there are many of you that have some type of pet at home or once did, and how would you feel knowing that there was an animal out there just like them suffering because of some cosmetic products? So many people don't realize the products that they buy are not cruelty free, and that there are still companies that are using animals to test the products and ingredients. I'm going to give you some information and facts behind what really happens with animal testing and what can be done to stop it. I want you to think about how many people in this world use makeup and how many companies are not cruelty free. That is so many animals being tortured and killed for the sake of making sure some product is safe for us, for a product that is not necessary for our survival, but for a mere hobby. I don't believe that it is fair to those poor little animals, this including mice, rats, guinea pigs, bunnies, and rabbits. They have no voice to speak for themselves, so we have to be that voice for them and stop what is happening. Animal testing for cosmetic exists because governments needed to establish whether or not a product or ingredient is safe for public health before allowing it on the market. More than 100 million animals suffer and die in the U.S. every year to cruel cosmetic tests. Just to put into perspective, what these animals actually have to go through for this animal testing is horrendous. I'm going to name a few of I'm not going to name all of the procedures, but here are a few. They will use rabbits and apply the substance to their eyes to determine if it's safe. This will cause redness, bleeding, ulcers, blindness, and other signs of damage. Here is a photo just to put into perspective what an animal has to go through for a procedure. This is a bunny who was having a product tested in his eye, and usually after this, once it is documented, this animal is no longer needed and will be killed. Another procedure that is performed is on a rat or mouse. They are forced to have a substance shoved down their throat using a feeding tube. They may experience diarrhea, convulsions, bleeding from the mouth, seizures, paralysis, and or death. The last test that I am going to mention is called acute inhalation toxicity. This is where a rat is placed into a tube and forced to inhale the test substance. They may experience bleeding of the nose, convulsions, paralysis, seizures, and or death. This is to determine the amount of a substance that causes half of the exposed animals to die within 14 days when the substance is inhaled. There are so many other procedures and tests, and all these animals do is spend their little lives suffering for us. Now I know what you're thinking, well, it's better them than us, and these tests ensure that it's safe for us. That is true, I won't deny that. We should make sure that these tests we use and put on our bodies should be tested and deemed safe. But there are so many alternatives out there that are just as acceptable to determine a product or ingredient safe. As I said, there are many different alternatives out there that companies can use. There are already so many ingredients that are already deemed safe that they don't need to be tested again since they were already tested in the past. There are over 7,000 ingredients that cosmetic companies can choose from to formulate their products. Also, animal toxicity tests are not scientifically meaningful. The results aren't accurate because humans and animals are genetically different. Let's also mention the day and age that we are in now and how far we have come in the scientific world. There are so many awesome technologies that are used to test if ingredients are safe. For example, instead of measuring how long it takes a chemical to burn the cornea of a rabbit's eye, manufacturers can now drop that chemical onto a cornea-like 3D tissue structures produced from human cells. Likewise, human skin cultures can be grown to be purchased for skin irritation. There's also a method called the test tube method that can distinguish toxic from non-toxic cosmetic ingredients without cruel animal poisoning experiments. And to top it all off, it is stated that all of these alternative ways for making sure cosmetic products are safe is so much cheaper than to actually test on animals. Can someone please tell me why we are still using animal testing? It makes no sense at all in the long run. I am outraged on how we haven't completely banned this from the US, especially with so many other options at our fingertips. Now I'm hoping with your help, we can become a country that bans makeup companies from using animal testing. There are already so many countries that have already banned animal testing, and that includes the European Union, Norway, Israel, and India, and so many other countries on the verge of it. Maybe you're wondering how you can help in this cause, and there are so many ways you can. One of the first things you can start with is yourself and the products that you have. Start by going through your makeup stash and finding out what products are cruelty-free and which ones are not, and get rid of those. Start by being mindful and finding the companies that are cruelty-free and start buying from them. There are more than 600 companies that are cruelty-free, and that is a lot of companies to support. All of these companies will have a logo on them to help you see if a product is cruelty-free or not. These 3 logos are the only ones to trust when looking on products. There are many companies out there that will try to put fake logos on their products to trick you. Here are also some cruelty-free brands for reference, and these are just to name a few. Milani, NYX, Kat Von D, Flower Beauty, Physicians Formula, and so many more. Some other things you can do to help is to sign some petitions. One that I would recommend is the petition to pass the Humane Cosmetics Act. This means that a ban can be issued on animal testing for cosmetics in the United States. There are many more petitions out there that can be signed also. Another way to help with this cause is to learn more about it. There is so much more to learn about this, and I would urge you to do your research and see for yourself what it's all about. There are many helpful websites with all the latest information and news. This is including the Dodo, One Green Planet, and Humane Society International. Next, you could join some campaigns. Be Cruelty Free and Cruelty Free International are some great campaigns to join and help with their projects. And of course, spread the word about it. Let people know what's going on and that there's an alternative and no reason for this to still be happening. With this information I have given you, I hope what you take from it is to at least be more mindful of the products and companies you are buying from. Also, please think about the animals that are out there being tested on and in pain. Maybe do a little bit more research now on the makeup that you use and rethink that eyeshadow palette you really want and change it for one that is a cruelty-free brand. Please think about what I said and maybe make a choice to save another animal's life. There are so many companies out there that are cruelty-free and are just as good as the ones who are not. Yet, you have more of a satisfaction knowing that an animal isn't being hurt because of your purchase. Thank you.